Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. Today, we are switching up our live group coaching event with just a slight change in schedule. I wanted to join you guys and do our live today on Tuesday, just because I will be traveling tomorrow when we normally go live at 2 p.m. So, thank you for being flexible with me. And we're going to jump right in. It is a couple days away from Thanksgiving, and it's such an exciting time. It's definitely one of my favorite holidays. I don't know about you guys. Let me know, what is your favorite holiday? And I think a lot of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, the different strategies and methods that I'm going to go through with you today, are things that you can apply this whole holiday season. So I know that this is a busy time for a lot of us. There's more parties, more social gatherings. There's Hanukkah coming up. There's Christmas. There's New Year's, right? So it just right now is the start of many amazing celebrations. And I know that with the excitement of that, as positive as it is, it can also come with a lot of added stress, some, uncomfortability. And I just want to make sure that you guys feel supported, that you have some tools in your toolkit that you can whip out over the next few months or weeks that are really going to help you to show up with confidence, to cut through the overwhelm, to cut through any old feelings of guilt and shame around eating, around working out, around your whole health journey, especially when it comes to the holidays. And so we're going to just bring up a bunch of, common situations, things that you might be facing over the next few days so you can show up the way that you really want to and make this a healthier holiday than maybe you have done in the past. Because the reason why we care is that is what's going to help you to maintain that momentum that you've already built up. You've invested in yourself, you've invested your time, your energy into learning and integrating new practices into your life so that you can show up healthier to achieve your goals, whatever that looks like for you aesthetically, strength, energy, quality of life, your own self-care practice and how you view yourself. And so it's through these bumpier times that are so important to double down on rather than just kind of let it slip away, to kind of leave it on the back burner, right? You've worked yourself up for these more difficult times. So this is your time to shine. So we're going to get right into it. I have a couple different strategies that we're going to work our way through. And if you have any questions along the way, please send them in a comment. You can always email me at marisol@myrubysoul.com or send me a direct message as well. Number one is on the day of, or at least some point around the time of your holiday gatherings, maybe if you're celebrating on a different day other than Thursday, is one thing I recommend to help you stay on track is schedule in some movement. Now, I didn't say schedule in the world's hardest workout. I didn't say you have to go to the gym. I didn't say any of that. I just said schedule in movement, right? It is so important to continue to move our bodies. And although exercise for you, depending on wherever you are in your journey, maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder to already fit that in. So that's why I really want you to just approach this movement with softness, right? If at the very least, what's accessible to you is a walk outside or on a treadmill, amazing. If you have access to a gym that's open on Thanksgiving or around the time that you're celebrating Thanksgiving, great. How about getting in a workout? Maybe it's just going to be using some household items like the live I did for you guys last week, and it's just kind of being resourceful and doing a home workout. Okay. Or maybe you have some equipment at home and you're just going to do like a family workout, get everybody moving. Amazing. Whatever it looks like for you, just schedule something in. This is going to help you to not only stay consistent on your regular routine, because all of you have workouts to complete throughout the week, but it's also going to help you feel better, right? Exercise, as we know, is a stress reliever. It is a break mentally, physically, spiritually from everything else that's going on, right? Whether you're hosting or attending or there's all these things going on, it's a break for you. So think of it as an act of self-care. And then from a more, physical perspective, it's also just going to help you to digest and metabolize all of those rich, delicious foods that you're about to eat. So you might as well schedule in some exercise, some movement for yourself, because it's going to help your body absorb some of those higher calorie, higher, richer, denser foods that you might not always be eating. And I think there's always that worry of like, how is this going to affect my body? Number one, one day is not going to throw off your progress exponentially, but I believe that as you are here, part of this group, that you are here for the long term, and we want to practice and show up on Thanksgiving as we would any other day, right? Because that's what's going to make us stronger. What's really going to solidify these practices, this lifestyle as who we actually are. And in order to do that, it's important to optimize your eating as much as possible. So, how do we do that? Let's get in a workout. Of course, if you do weight training, if you do more higher intensity, you're going to be expending more energy. You're going to be using more carbohydrates. So, therefore, your body is going to be more receptive to absorbing and metabolizing more of those higher carbohydrate, denser foods in order to replenish and for you to bounce back the next day. So, it's just a great way to really optimize your fitness nutrition, and that's just something that I personally do, and I find makes me feel great, and it really just sets me up for the day anyway. So what I'll do is I'll schedule my workout on Thanksgiving, usually in the morning, late morning, get that out of the way. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling energized. I have a little snack, and then my body is just waiting and wanting that amazing meal afterwards. And it's going to sit differently with you. It's going to not feel as stuffed and kind of just sit with you, right? And plus, like if we're wanting to eat more and kind of sample and all of those amazing parts of having a big holiday meal, we might as well set our bodies up in a way where like it's ready for it. I feel like that's also just self-care, right? So you're looking out for yourself by doing that. Schedule in some kind of movement. Doesn't have to be difficult, doesn't have to be an hour, could be 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you have, put it in your calendar and make it happen. Second tip I have for you is kind of along the same lines, but slightly different, is make sure at some point during this holiday week, the holiday day itself, that you block out some you time. And maybe for you, that's the exercise, and maybe that's enough. If you're someone that really loves their alone time, and maybe like the holidays and being around a lot of family members and a lot of people can be a little bit, can cause some anxiety, I hear you. And maybe for you, what that's really going to mean is you need to block out, 10, 15 minutes, again, whatever time you have, for you to just go inward. And some of my favorite ways of doing that I know many of you already practice, could be a meditation practice, guided or unguided, could be breath work, it could be journaling, putting pen to paper. That might even help you. Maybe it's not even just a free form journal. Maybe it's just literally planning out your day where you find the time where you're going to work out, do some of these other things that we talk about, and make sure that you feel really organized going into the day as opposed to just letting it happen, right? Because that can cause more stress. So blocking out some you time, I think, is really important, because when it's the holidays, depending on what your roles are, it's very often to just kind of be left to default to whatever is available, like whatever the family decides, whatever is happening around you, as opposed to intentionally making decisions for our highest good and for our own priorities. We have to lead with our own priorities. So this is your reminder to do that. Okay, moving on. Another really important tip for you this holiday season is maintain your meal consistency. This is something I see all the time, where in our mind, we're already predicting that we know we're going to have a huge meal at some point in the day. Let's say you have like Thanksgiving dinner, right? So what I see a lot of people do is that they'll basically starve themselves or have as little as possible to eat throughout the whole day to like save up for that, right? And just think about how that would make you feel about yourself. Think about how that is how is that affecting your relationship with food? How is that affecting how you relate to food after the holiday is over, right? You're just kind of like saving it up and then you're just going all in, almost like binging is kind of what I see that as. And I get it, right? You're trying to like save the spot in your stomach. You're trying to like save up your calories. And unfortunately, what ends up happening with that is you're definitely going to overeat. You're definitely not going to feel well. You're definitely going to go past your appetite, 8 out of 10 fullness, where like the pants are popping out, not feeling good. Maybe you don't even get a chance to enjoy all of the foods that you actually wanted to eat because you're too full too fast. maybe you're not going to get as much of a balanced plate, most likely, because you're going to go after the carbohydrates and kind of the shiny foods first, because your body naturally has been waiting all day, is depleted, and is needing that instant replenishment, right? It's the same reason why, like, we'll want junk food when we let ourselves go hangry or go hungry for too long. So it's really putting you at a disservice. And then on top of that, it's kind of playing into this whole idea of like, I don't deserve to eat, and if I'm going to have this much stuff later, or I'm going to deprive and take away from myself, sacrifice in order to have something later. When really we don't need to do any of that, right? That's very unkind to ourselves. It's unkind to our body. And we're not going to get the result that we want. We're going to be left feeling really uncomfortable internally and out. And that's going to be more likely to cause you to feel even more negative feelings about how you ate the next day, right? And you might even be left over with symptoms the next day from how you ate the previous night, of loading in all that food at once, right? It's definitely not friendly to the digestive system. And we don't want to approach food that way. Food is given to us. We are always worthy of food, of healthy, nourishing meals. And we're trying to get away from that all or nothing mindset. We want to have that peace and relationship with food, staying away from the desperation and like that, gotta have it, as opposed to I can have whatever I want in all moderation. So another way to offset that is to keep your meals consistent as you would any other day of your healthy lifestyle, right? So on a normal day, if you would have a breakfast and a lunch before dinner, have breakfast and lunch. And if you're going to do like a bigger lunch, still have breakfast at least, right? Don't try to skimp and try to like do the math. It doesn't work that way. At the end of the day, you're going to be hungry, and you're going to, only be able to have so much food in one day. And just remember that there's leftovers. Remember that you can get more food, delicious food tomorrow, that, you can take it home. You can look forward to your next holiday, right? So this is not like the one shebang. We don't have to fill our whole stomachs up with this one leading all the way up into it, right? Which is another reason why we're always talking about moderation on a daily basis, is because if we feel like we get what we want all the time, we're gonna, not feel like we need to just dive in full force and overdo it when the opportunity presents itself, right? So when you have your breakfast, make sure it's balanced. Make sure that there is that focus of protein, lots of veggies and color, healthy fats, and some slow digesting carbohydrates that make you really feel your best. And then try to have that, throughout the day, so that when you show up for your Thanksgiving meal, yeah, you'll work up an appetite. It'll be time to eat, but you'll show up to it like you would any other meal. And it's going to help you to have more easier time with portions, leaving you feeling amazing. All right, so that was a lot of talking for that one. My next tip is indulging with intention. So it's the holidays. This is the time where, yes, there are amazing desserts. There's lots of opportunities to have a cocktail or two. There's richer foods, like we talked about, things that are, that have gluten, that have dairy, that have, just higher fat content, a lot of butter, and that's all okay. It's all good stuff. I think homemade is always the way to go. But when it comes to, choosing which ones you're going to go after, I recommend you choose two out of everything that I mentioned, right? So if you're at a dinner and you really want an alcoholic drink, and you also know that you really want to have like some dessert, great. Pick those two. And then maybe for your sides, you're going to maybe keep them lighter, focus more on vegetable sides, a lot of protein. And then, if there's a lot of other types of sides that have inflammatory, ingredients in them, like I said, gluten, dairy, maybe something with processed food in there, maybe we just lighten it up on those, right? But we can really give ourselves to the other two indulgences that really mean the most to us. So it's all about choosing, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, quality over quantity. I mean, we don't need to have everything all at once, right? But choose the ones that really speak to you, the things that you really love. I know, some of my family members, like, they're not really sweets persons, but they really enjoy like having a nice cocktail, or like they love mashed potatoes and that has dairy in it, the way that someone in the family makes them. So they're going to have those too. Whatever works for you, right? Or maybe if you don't feel like you need to indulge in two, choose one. The more that you keep that front of mind with, again, a balance of like, yes, I care about my goals and I want to stay on track as much as possible, and that the decisions I make today are also formulating how I'm going to show up tomorrow and next month, right? But then also like it is a special occasion. I want to enjoy myself. How can I have both of those and kind of go about it with a little bit more harmony? You don't have to just choose one or the other. And I know that that can be challenging, right? It's like loosening up on the rigidity, but keeping front of mind that, like, yes, my goals are important to me. Awesome. It's all about the mindset here, right? It's like, again, one day is one day, but how are you going to make this a part of you where it becomes easier and easier over time, right? Where it's like there's less of that like fighting against yourself. It's going through it's kind of like rationalizing it in your mind. That's kind of what we're doing here together. It's like, okay, I can have a little bit, right? But this is all about how you can find more moderation in the day without completely going off the deep end and then taking that with you day after day, because it doesn't just end on Thanksgiving, right? This is how we view ourselves, our bodies, our lifestyle that we're trying to build. Okay. The last thing that I have for you guys is a couple practices for how to eat slower and more mindfully. So as you guys know, we've talked about this in session, one-on-one, is that oftentimes in these higher stress environments, a lot is going on, the holidays, there's so many things on your mind that it's easy to eat faster, eat more than you would like, and just kind of like it's easy to feel like you're losing control. So in order to pull it back into control is focus on slowing down, period. Not even just maybe you're eating, but like your mind. And that goes back to, again, this connects to some of the other things I've already talked to you about, blocking out that you time, having a workout, right? Indulging with intention, meaning you're thinking about these things ahead of time, right? Intentionally. And all of these things require you to slow down. So from a very basic perspective, when you're just eating, a couple ways you can slow down is putting your fork down between bites, like letting yourself chew your food fully, savor it, maybe talk to somebody in between, and then pick up that fork and knife, go into the next bite, as opposed to just putting it all away, shoveling it down. Drinking plenty of water is another great tip to help you slow down, check in with your body, make sure that you really are feeling how full, how satisfied you're becoming. Because sometimes when we eat so fast, we don't even know how full we are, right? And if we're not drinking anything or we're only having alcohol, it's like it mixes it all up in our mind. So it's important to just be in your body, get present. Even sitting down and like making a plate, walking away from where you got your food and sitting down separately. That was something one of my clients had shared with me from years past that she thought was very helpful. And I love that because, oftentimes if you think about how food is set up during a holiday, maybe it's like buffet style or maybe it's like family style where everything is like right in front of you to just keep on digging in. So make your plate, make sure it looks and it feels right for you, then walk away from where that food is, sit down with people, and then just focus on the food, focus on the experience. And you'll notice maybe that you're going to go up less for seconds, or you notice and you tune in more like, oh, I'm actually satisfied. I'm good. I'm ready to let this digest before dessert or whatever it is. Those are some of my favorites. I think just, again, chewing your food completely, taking your time with the food, making sure that, again, your food plates are balanced. I know something else, another client's testimonial was when she said that she was purposely choosing to eat her protein and her veggies first, making sure like when she was hungry, that's what she gave her body first because she knows that that's what it really needs. And then dabbling into the starchy carbs, the desserts, right? Like that's amazing because you're kind of setting that foundation in your stomach to give your body that full nourishment that you want to make sure that you're not skimping on those things. Our protein and our veggies, that is so important. That's going to help you to naturally portion control for the appropriate amount for you. So that's amazing. That's another great tip. So those are some ways that I know when you guys implement them, they're going to help you to show up this holiday season with so much confidence, with the freedom that you have to enjoy things that you are looking forward to and that are delicious with the people that you love, but in a way that is still focused in on you and what's most important to you. And I think we don't want to lose sight of that, even during the craziness of the holidays. You guys are here. You're still here. You're putting in the work. You're committed to yourself. You want to feel better. You want to see these changes that you've been implementing come full circle, higher energy, feeling lean and strong and sculpted, and feeling confident in yourself that this is the healthy lifestyle that you want because you earned it and you guys are worth it. So, recap a couple tips for you. Number one, schedule your movement in. Number two, block out you time if you feel like you need that in addition to your workout. Number three, maintain your meal consistency throughout the day. Number four, indulge with intention. Choose which indulgences are going to be the most desirable for you. And number five, practice slow and mindful eating. I think that was five. One, two, three, four, five. Yes. All right. So I hope you guys have an amazing holiday. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys. I wouldn't be here without any one of you. It is an honor to serve and to be each of your coaches. I don't even know if that sounded right. I'm so passionate about what I do and the work that we do together because I see you guys grow every single day. I see you learning about yourself and gaining that awareness. And for me, that just fills up my heart. And for those of you who know, I'm on this journey with you. I've shared my struggles and I came from all the ups and downs. I've been through all of these different situations and continue to learn and find better ways to navigate them today. So thank you for being part of this. Thank you for being part of this community. I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.